Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Canyon, I'm a Muslim, I'm a revert, I'm a business owner, and I'm a Sharia compliant investor. And in this video, I'm gonna answer 10 more of the top requested questions. This is part 2 of answering your questions. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Question number 1, since reverting, what has been the most beautiful change that you have felt within yourself that you would have never expected? The most beautiful change that I felt in myself is learning intense gratitude. Since I've become a Muslim, the biggest thing that I've learned is to be so grateful for everything you've got and so grateful for everything that you're given. We take our basic blessings for granted. We take the basic necessities we're given for granted. This shirt, this microphone, this hair on my head, we take it for granted. And then once we don't have it, once we don't have our health, then we think about, oh, I wish I had my health, or oh, I wish I had my bed. I wish I had my family. Don't wish you had the things once they're gone. Take the second right now to be so consciously grateful for what you have, because you have so many blessings in your life. There are so many things that you have that people wish they could have. And if you just realized how lucky you were, you just realized how blessed you were, you would live such a happy life. And once you realize how many blessings you have, it's so much easier to be happy and not chasing all of the things in the dunya. Number 2, why is it so hard to do good deeds and so easy to do evil things? That's a tricky one. I think the world that we live in right now has been set up to make sins easy. It's easy to listen to music. It's easy to commit zina. It's easy to intertwine with the opposite sex. It's easy to do minor shirk because it's everywhere, and it is hard. But it's about your environment. So if you're thinking right now it's easy to do sins and hard to do good deeds, you're most likely in the wrong environment or you're hanging around the wrong people. Imagine if you were in a Muslim country and all of your friends were practicing Muslim. And that's all the thing, and you only spend time with them. Do you think it would be harder to do good deeds or to be harder to sin? It might be harder to sin because you'd be like an outcast from your friend group, right? You wouldn't fit in, and doing good deeds, you'd fit right in, and your friends would all support you in that, right? So it's our environment rubs off on you. So I think it's not healthy to believe that it's easier to do bad things than easier to do good things. Because what we believe, we will shape into our world, right? Our thoughts become our reality. So if you think it's hard to do good deeds, you're telling yourself this, which then will manifest into the reality. First, I believe the opposite. I believe it's very easy to do good deeds. I believe it's very easy to please Allah and to get rewards. And then by believing that, via proxy, I will end up doing more good deeds, right? I'll smile to more people. I'll give more to charity. I'll film more videos to help my audience, that type of stuff. So make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Make sure you get in the right environment. And then obviously understand your thoughts become your reality. So be very conscious about what you're thinking. Number 3, what is the best wealth building strategy for your early 20s? The best wealth building strategy for anybody who's young is long-term Sharia compliant investing, okay? So investing, what people don't realize is you can get so much out of a small bit of investment, right? So people want to make a bunch of money really fast. They want to make 10K a month super fast. They want to be a millionaire super fast. But what they don't realize is if they just played the long game and invested a little bit of money every single month into Sharia compliant assets, you can build a massive portfolio and retire. So I'm about to go travel. I'm going to do something insane. This is the first time I'm saying this. You're the first person who's ever going to hear from this. I'm going to go travel to every single Muslim country in the world. And the way that I'm able to do this financially is because I've built a portfolio, a multi-6-figure portfolio of assets that pay me dividends every single month so I can receive passive income and I can live off that passive income. So the best thing to do as a young person is to get as much money as possible into assets. So if you leave your money in the bank, your money's going to become worth less every single year and inflation's going to kill your money. But if you get your money into assets like Sharia compliant stocks, Sharia compliant real estate, gold, Sukuk, Bitcoin, like those are 5 good assets. Get your money into that and then your wealth will grow without you doing anything, right? So if you have 10K and you put it into like gold, by the end of the year, you're gonna have $10,800 because that's about how much gold increases every single year. So think about that. That's $800 you made without doing any work. Now this starts to stack. Imagine if you do that for 40 years, right? Just so you know the math. The math is if you invest $285 every single month into those assets I just told you, it's $1 million in 40 years. So I think the best thing anybody should be doing is just build financial discipline and start investing. Okay, number 4, what has been the biggest struggle since I became a Muslim? I think the biggest struggle for me has actually been being transparent with my audience. That's been the biggest struggle. Because when you have a big platform, and alhamdulillah, I'm super blessed to be able to have a large platform, you're under the public eye. So it's like I feel like I have to do everything perfect. And I think people look up to me a little bit too much in being a good Muslim and don't realize that I'm only been a Muslim for 2 years. And yes, I feel like I know a lot for how long I've been a Muslim, but I'm not perfect. I still mess up. I'm just like everybody else. There's still things I need to learn. And so I think I've gotten better at it now, but when I first reverted to Islam, I felt a lot of pressure Obviously, I didn't start posting content until like 8 months after I'd been a Muslim, but still, I didn't know much after 8 months. So I felt a lot of pressure, but I think that pressure is good. I think that it's Allah testing me. And so it's not that big of a challenge, but it was. But then how we flip this is whatever challenge you're going through is most likely a blessing from Allah. Whatever challenge you're going through is Allah testing you to see how you do, right? It's Allah giving you an opportunity to grow. So I think that me having a large platform, it's giving me an opportunity to make sure I stay aligned with who I am, to stay aligned with my principles, my ethics, my morals, and also test me to get more knowledge. Because if I have to make videos talking about Islam and answering questions, I have to get more knowledge to be able to answer those questions. So it's actually a beautiful thing if you really look at it. Number 5, if I could instantly master any skill in the world, what would it be and why? The most important skill that I think anybody can learn is sales, communication, and marketing. I think these are all intertwined. It's all intertwined with communication. The better you get at speaking and understanding human psychology, the better jobs you can get, the more opportunities you can get, the better your relationships are going to be, and every single aspect of your life will improve. So I say this to anybody. If you don't know what you want to do with your career, you don't know what you want to do with your life, you don't know how you want to make money, learn sales. And I don't say this out of theory. The way I made my first $10,000 a month, the way that I first really had any relative success in my life was doing something called remote closing. So I did something where I took virtual sales phone calls and you earn a commission, and it's really great. And you build this repetition of talking to people. You build the ability to speak. How many people can't speak 10 minutes straight without saying, I don't know, right? And then when you have the ability to speak, you can make a lot more money and your relationships are better. We have a really bad epidemic in this world right now, especially for men. I can't speak for women, where men have a big loneliness problem. Most men don't have any good friends. But if you learn how to communicate and you learn how to influence people and be charismatic, it's a lot easier for you to get friends. So if I could master any one skill in the world, it would be sales. And it's what I would recommend to anybody else. Number 6, what was your childhood inspiration that helped you get to where you are today? Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless my father. May Allah guide my father. May Allah reward my father for everything that he's done. My father's been my inspiration. So I'll give you a little bit of a story. I, at the very young age of 18, got into a network where I ended up meeting a bunch of millionaires. This was before I was a Muslim. I met probably about 300 millionaires before I reverted to Islam. I met so many people who had every single worldly success you could want. So many people who had everything you could ask for in this world, right? Everything the dunya can give you. And what I started to notice after about a year is I noticed these people have millions of dollars. They have Lambos, they've got Rolexes, they've got it all. I would rather actually have my dad's life. My dad has a solid job that pays him a good income. He has a great wife. He's got a good house. He's got 2 amazing kids. He's got his hobbies. He's got balanced. So what I learned from my dad growing up was find what's important. The world is going to tell you you need this, right? The world's going to tell you this is the job you need. That's how much money you need. This is the relationship you have. Don't listen to what the world tells you. Find for yourself what you want in life. Find for yourself what's actually important to you. And I saw growing up and watched my dad and, with the family, and from a young age, I did a lot of camping. We went outdoors, we experienced nature a lot. So I became very grounded and understood. I know what I want as the end goal, which is funny because, if you know anything about me, I love money. I want to be rich. I want to. And I want to be rich so I can help others and so I can retire my parents and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, the money's not the end goal. And I learned that from my dad. The end goal is my deen, nature, relationships, experiences, things that are actually important. Number 7, why didn't you change your name after you reverted to Islam? And what does your name mean? This is the most common question that I get anywhere is, Canyon, what is your Muslim name? And there's a fantastic lesson in this. Right now, our ummah follows culture more than they follow Islam, right? Muslims follow cultural practices from their country more than they follow Islam. Muslim names has nothing to do with Islam. It is an Arab culture thing that most Muslims think you have to do. If your name is associated with shirk or a sin, you have to change your name. But if your name isn't associated with that, there's nothing that makes you actually have to change your name, right? I remember in Pakistan, all the people there, may Allah bless every single one of them, but they all tried to get me to go by a different name. So it's really important for us to remember our information that we have. Did we get this from the Sunnah and the Quran? Or did we get this from what our parents told us, right? Always fact check. If you're raised on Islam, not by you reading the Quran and reading the Hadiths, but based on what your parents and your community told you, you might have the wrong information. So I will say it kind of does bother me sometimes. So many people go, oh, what's your Muslim name? And I understand, and it's all in good intention. Just make sure you're getting your information right. Muslim name is not a thing. Number 8, how should I tell my Christian parents that I reverted to Islam 8 months ago? I was the one who introduced them to Christianity from atheism, and then I found Islam later in my life. This is a nuanced question, hard to give an exact answer. But it depends how supportive your parents are. If you know they're going to be supportive, if you know you have the type of parents who are going to love you no matter what, kind of like mine were, just be upfront with them, right? Parents love honesty. I bet you, your parents would rather you sit them down. This can be applied to anyone, telling your parents for anything. Your parents would probably rather you sit them down and tell them the truth than them find out one day and then realize you never told them, right? It's like our parents would rather have a hard conversation with us, and as uncomfortable as it might be, than to them find out we've been lying to them or telling them half truths, because then they're going to feel betrayed. And then when we have to have the conversation, because they will find out eventually, then, oh, look at those muscles. Alhamdulillah. Forgive me guys, I'm still young. I'm still just a weird person, even though I might have a little bit of influence. If they find out on their own, the conversation you're gonna have is gonna be way harder than if you bring them to the conversation. And it's coming from a place of love, right? So come to your parents, sit them down and tell from a place of love. Like, hey, I know I showed you guys Christianity, and I know that I was a Christian, and I hope you guys respect this thing, but I just want you guys to know that I was looking into Islam. Islam feels like the thing for me. I like it. I just wanted to tell you guys, and I hope that you understand that and you support me. Like that's how I would say it. That's what I would do. Okay, next question. What is your definition of success? Absolutely love this question. My definition of success is how close did you get to attaining what you said you wanted, right? So a lot of these millionaires that I've met, I don't actually think they're successful because I don't think they ever set their goal of what they actually wanted in life. They just made a lot of money. So what I think you should do is if you want to be successful, sit down and go, what is your actual goal? And then if you achieve that goal, you become successful. So I'll give you an example. Say I want to be a multimillionaire. I want a Lamborghini. I want a mansion, and I want a Rolex. That's my goal. And then say another person is they want to always pray their 5 daily prayers. They want a good family, and they want children. So let's say 20 years goes by. Say I'm worth $500,000. I've got a nice condo. I've got a nice BMW. I've got a nice Tudor watch. I'm successful in all definitions that someone would say. And then this other person, they're a super practicing Muslim. They've got 3 children, and they've got an amazing family. That other person is more successful by my definition because they attained what they actually said they wanted, right? So a lot of people chase things that the world tells you is success. They chase, this is what success is, but that's not what success is. Like for me, success will be being able to be financially free, 100% financially free past the age of 25, be able to spend my time being the best Muslim I can possibly be, having an impact and actually helping people and making an impact on the ummah and leaving a legacy where I get good deeds. That's success to me, right? So if I don't achieve any of that and then just end up with $50 million, that's not success. That's not success. So understand what you want and then get close to achieving what you want. Final question. How can I convince my Christian friend that the Trinity is nonsense? I wouldn't actually go about trying to convince a Christian anything. You see my content, yes, but my content disproving Christianity and proving the Trinity is wrong, that's not actually directed for Christians. Because that's not going to convince a Christian. Telling someone's faith that they're wrong is not going to convince them. That's more Dawah to Muslims, so Muslims can realize how absolutely amazing our religion is. I think the best type of Dawah that you can do for Christians and atheists is by being the best Muslim you can be, right? By being super kind to them, by being a genuine person, by being a supportive person. Because what will happen is they will start to associate your good traits with Islam. The kinder you are, the more they're going to view Islam in a good light, right? Can we just get a moment for my hair that's just been sticking up this whole video? Sorry about that. The kinder you are, the more it's going to rub off on Islam. Versus if you're constantly trying to disprove them and tell them why they're wrong, they're going to look at you in a negative light and they're not going to like you. So if you want to convince anybody to come to your religion, set a good example of what your religion is, and that will bring people in. And then being there to answer their questions. Don't try to give them dawahs and always try to convince them, but have conversations with them, and anytime they're there to ask a question, be there to give them an answer. Okay, that was part 2 of answering all of your questions. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 3. I'm gonna answer 10 more questions, inshallah. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.